Yeah. Om Sadashivasamarampham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Badram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaः Badram Pakshye Makshabhiryajtraः Sthirairangaih Sushtuva Gumsastanubhih Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuh Swasti na Indro Vruddhashavaः Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaः स्वस्ति न सार्क्ष्यो अनिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ओम शांति शांति शांति. Okay, now last time, yeah, Pranam ji. Now last time we did the meditation, okay, Omkara Dhyanam, Nididhyasanam both. Any questions, clarifications, or shall we go ahead?
Swamiji,
Yeah.
the beginning when you are starting and you're relaxing yourself, and then you focus on your Ishtadev and all. Is that something like a Sakshi meditation?
No,
Or is that
that is not
different?
Sakshi, that is purely Upasana.
Okay.
Saguna Brahma Vishaye Manasa Vyapara. With respect to Ishvara, you are having a mental activity. That's why if you notice, we go from Upasana to Japadhyanam to Nididhyasanam. That's how we go. Okay, so since anybody else, any questions? Okay, I think we can go ahead then. Okay, so the fifth verse, 225, okay, and say, Yasminnadyaha prativi chantariksham otam manah sah pranaisha sarvaihi तमेव एकं जानतः आत्मानं अन्यावाचा विमुञ्चते अथ अमृतस्य एषा सेतुः. अमृतस्य एषा सेतुः. This is the bridge to Amritam, immortality, he says. This is a bridge. Now, bridge etc. used aupacharikena, because it's not a place that you have to reach by crossing the bridge. Okay, so the way the word bridge is used in the sense of a means of reaching. This is the means for immortality. What is that? He says. Okay. Yasmin nadyaha prithivi chantariksham ota protam. In what? In that self alone, the heaven, the earth, the space inside, the mind, the prana, all of them are otam. Ota prota means pervaded by. In which self all the dimensions exist, including your mind, because we have a tendency when you say all the dimension, we leave ourselves out of the picture. No, the mind, prana, etc., all of that, all right. Tam eva ekam janatah atmanam. Tam evam atmanam janatah. Once you know that one atmanam, then what are you supposed to do once you know that one atmanam? Anyavacha vimunchata. Give up all other thinking. This is for the seat of meditation. Okay. Why? क्या बात है और? Why are you going into everything else? You used your japadhyanam, you used your everything for what? To own up what you know. Now you are rooted in what you know. Then, shall I bring in this again? Shall I bring in that again? For what? Everything was to get yourself rooted in this knowledge. So once you are rooted in this knowledge, give up other things. Anya vacha vimanchata. Okay. Amritasya esha setuhu. This is the means, he says. This is the means. Esha eva setuhu. This is the means. In other words, what he is doing here. Okay. Remember one thing. Knowledge takes place with a pramana. When you use a means of knowledge. When it comes to Shabda Pramanam, you don't use it, somebody else uses it. Perception you use, inference you use, Upamanam etc. you are using, Anupalabdhi you are using. When it comes to Shabda Pramana, you are using, but somebody else is handling the words. A Sampradayavit is handling the words. That is why you use Shabda Pramana through Shravanam, listening. You listen. The Pramana is used in listening. The Pramana works in listening. Whatever you know, you get it in listening alone. Whether it clicks or it doesn't click. It may click later. Tubelight hai thoda kya karega? But you get it. Then what are we doing in Nididhyasanam? We are not gaining anything new in Nididhyasana. We are just owning up what we already know. You are soaking yourself in this knowledge, immersing yourself in this knowledge. So the knowledge goes through your mind, settles down. Why is this necessary? Because we all come to Vedanta without being Uttamadhikaris. You know the height of Viveka, Vairagya, Ashat Sampatti, Mumukshata? Nahi hai. Everyone started with a curiosity, isn't it? Everyone started with a curiosity. And we are not always ready for the whole thing. Yeah, we have some Viveka, we have some Vairagya, etc. is there. But it is not complete. To be complete, you have to be like Shvetaketu in Chandogya Upanishad. Like Maitreyi Gargi, like Arjuna. We are nowhere like that. They didn't need meditation. You and I require it. To own up what you already know. As Swami Chinmayanji used to say, what has gone in through the ears must settle into the heart. Otherwise, it will leak through the mouth. You'll keep talking and discussing about it. It will become after dinner talk. Yeah. So that is not how it is. It has to be part of your day-to-day. So when it is, how do you make it? Nididhyasanam is the way. Okay. But to do Nididhyasanam, two things are necessary. You already must have had some mastery of the mind, some hold over it. And you must also have good insights into the truth. Without these two, you cannot do Nididhyasanam. If you are still struggling with your mind, do Japadhyanam, etc. And then come back to Nididhyasanam later. So that's important. Otherwise, you will be struggling with it. It's like, we always feel we must start with the highest. We always feel that. In any field. But we can't start with the highest. We have to start from where we are. And where are we? It's important to see that. Where are we? And we start with that. Yeah. Arjuna was ready to start with the highest. He was fine. Maitreyi Gargi won. Shvetiketu was. They were all what we call as Uttamadhikaris. Uttamadhikaris. Top class. Top notch. Then there are Madhyamadhikaris. Most of us will fall into that category. And there are Mandadhikaris. थोड़ा स्टोरी वीरी बोलना पड़ता है. And there are people who are not adhikaris also. क्या करूँ? I mean, it's like one of my. Yeah, I'll come to that. There are people who are not adhikaris, like one of my Guru Bhens told her kid sister, hey, it's high time for you. You're 40-year-old now, 40, 45. It's high time for you to start studying a little bit of Vedanta, etc. And you know what she said? No, I'm not ready for all that. I'm not ready for moksha. I want to come back 2-3 more lifetimes and enjoy life before I go for moksha. No clue about what is life about. Anadhikaris, not adhikaris. This is okay. Yeah, that's all right. People come to Vedanta at their own times. Yeah. We have also taken many lifetimes. No? We have also taken many lifetimes to come here. Yeah. So that's okay. So people will take their own time and come. Not to get worried about that. Okay. Yeah. If people you introduce to Vedanta take it up, great. If they don't, fine. Yeah. So that is the whole thing. So in our life, what do? We fine tune. We live a life of Karma Yoga, fine tune our mind. More and more mastery of the mind. That's why a life of Karma Yoga is necessary to master your mind. Why? Only then you will face challenges, no? Things going wrong, things going in 6s and 7s. Nothing in your control. You thought everything was controlled nicely, your life was going well, everything goes haywire. That's the time to keep your balance, etc. So you need that life for mastery of the mind. Yeah. So those type of things are necessary. If you don't master the mind, yeah. And it is not that okay, first you master, then you do the. It's not graded like. It's your life. In your life, you master your mind. Things happen, things don't happen. All that thing goes on like that. So mastery is a part of living your life. Can I do something special to master my mind? You can. Japa Dhyanam, depending upon what you need. Okay. Let us say you are carrying some grief. Something went wrong in life and you are carrying grief. Then dealing with that grief is what is necessary, not sitting down and trying to meditate. Why? There will be very sorrowful meditation if you try to do that. Swamiji, is all because of my childhood. Do some inner child work. Fine. Whatever you need to do, you need to do. Identify what is your issue. If you can't, then sit down with your teacher and try. If you can't do it on your own, sit down. Sit down with a friend, philosopher, guide. Sit down with a counselor. Do what works. Everything is for mastery of the mind. Swamiji, isn't yoga for mastering the mind? Yes. So I'll do a lot of asana and pranayama. Not enough. Just by doing asana and pranayama, you do expect the mind to be mastered? Yama niyama it starts with. If psychological work is not done, your asana pranayama is not going to help. I'll give you some stability so that you can go into that. But what has to be done has to be done. Yeah. Otherwise, why should in the adhikaritam we list samadhama, etc. We should just do yoga, finish, ho gaya kaam. Tie your body and mind up in knots, ho gaya kaam. But no. So once that mind is ready and you more or less ready, okay, no one comes 100% ready, more or less ready. Once you do that and you come to the learning, it will work. Support it with some nididhyasanam, etc. Start with japa dhyanam and go into nididhyasanam. It should all work. And anya vacha vimunchata. Now this has to be understood properly, okay? You know, there are bhajans like that. Bas you just think of the Lord, chodo duniya ka kaam. Then who's going to do your work? Who's going to run your house? Now for a wise person, anya vacha vimunchata is literally true. My Swamiji, I have seen wise people discussing politics, etc. Yes. But anya vacha vimunchata is true. Why? Is there anything other than Brahman to talk about? Is politics separate from Brahman? Is finance separate from Brahman? Is anything separate from Brahman? So literally it is true. Anya vacha vimunchata. Now an interesting question came up. Why do people whom we recognize as wise do japa, dhyanam, etc.? Why do they do it? They are already wise, no? Nishtha is something that can grow all your life. You know, I made a mistake before I joined the ashram. Okay. I misguided somebody because I didn't have the big picture. We had entered into a debate and I misguided some. And within a few days, I realized that I was wrong. I tried to find that guy, couldn't. So that day I decided, until I have a good understanding of the big picture, the Shastra, and some clarity in knowledge, I am not going to open my mouth and talk about it. And I did that. I went to, that's why after the course, I used my 6 months absence from the course as an excuse to go to Rishikesh and study further. I did that. So years later, Swamiji said, go down to Bombay and start teaching. I said, okay. But all this while I have been doing some japa and dhyanam. Why? The nishtha I had then, I came back down to Bombay in 85, okay. '85, a couple of the youngsters here were not born. Okay. Some of the youngsters here were not born. Now I know I become old. When I have students who are not born when I started teaching, then I must be old. So, 85 I started. But compared to 1985 to 2023, my nishtha has come a long way. That is one thing you always work for. It can keep growing. It can keep growing. Number one. Number two, when you are praying for something, etc., loka sangraham, what is good for the world at large. not necessarily only for yourself. Like thanks to Suresh and Sunita, we went to Tirupati. Ram Navami, we were in Tirupati. We prayed, let the ashram etc. come up properly so that more teachers can be there, the following generations also can be taken care of. Naturally, we will pray. Especially Varaha Swami, who gave land to Balaji. Yeah. Yes, I will do that. Land to Balaji so that the whole temple could be made. And Kubera Swami, because he gave the money to Balaji to get married. So we also need that. So he'll pray. But that prayer is for Loka Sangram, it's not personal. But Swamiji, wasn't it your dream? You always wanted to have an ashram, no? Never. I'm too much of a free bird. Really. Now once I have an ashram, I have to start behaving like a Mahatma. I have to start acting my age. I am someone who, they see someone struggling over something, I will roll up my sleeves and come, chalo, Mahatma se bhul jao. No. Swamiji, let them do it. You have to sit down. Kya ye? But Guru Ajna, therefore do it. Guru Ajna, set up ashram, create, and it is true, create teachers for the future. Every teacher has that responsibility. Yeah. So, this is Loka Sangraha. So, prayers will come either for Loka Sangraha or more Nishtha. You can always do with where is Ramana's Nishtha and where is our Nishtha? What is the huge difference between the two? Naturally, Nishtha is something that will grow all your life. So, some amount of Nididhyasanam or Japa, you will keep going. Now, somebody asked the question just to elaborate a little bit more on Nididhyasanam and on Japa Dhyanam is very clear. You do the Japa, focus on the silence, this, that, etc. In Nididhyasanam, like how we did last time, we bring in the word Omkara. That Omkara stands for Ishvara and Brahman itself. Therefore, by using the word Om, you bring back the teaching in a nutshell, in its essence, you get into your mind. Omkara is one word. You can use any word or verse for in which your understanding clicked. This word means so much to me. I really understood. Use that word. So use that word to get the essence of the teaching in your mind. See, you are seeing the truth of that word. When you say Brahman, you don't have to say Brahman, Satyam Jnanam Anantam, Sat is like that, Jnanam is like that, Anantam is like that, this, that connection, Bhagatyaga. No, just the essence. Brahman, that pure consciousness that I am. The whole world has its basis in that. In me, the consciousness alone. So that essence you are recapturing in Nididhyasana. And somebody also said, in Japa itself the mind is wandering out, मैं क्या करूँ अभी? That only means your focus requires some more focus. Okay. Krishna has answered that question very well. Yato nischarati tatas samyamayita. Bring it back. That's why Japa is used. Focus on the silence. Om Namah Shivaya. Silence. Om Namah Shivaya. Silence. Om Namah Shivaya. Silence. Shiva Ramakrishna. One thought comes. Silence. Om Namah Shivaya. Back. Bring it back. You need to be very alert. Now, you cannot be alert in meditation if throughout the day you have lived a very mechanical life. See, some of our actions are mechanical. Why? You know, there's a great yoga teacher who says, everything you should do consciously. Yeah, theek hai. brush my teeth also. How consciously will you do that? Tell me. There are certain things which are routine in life. No? When you are having a bath, do you really have to think where all you are going to soap? And how you are going to soap it? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You have done it once, enough. Ho gaya kaam, no? So certain things are bound to be routine in your life, which is okay. Those things, if you're keeping it as routine, fine. But be very deliberate and awareful enough so that you don't have to say, did I lock my door or did I not lock it? If you're getting that doubt, means you're very unawareful when you are locking that door. That's why you're getting that doubt. So, in those things, be awareful enough, be alert enough, lead a life of alertness, deliberateness, etc. Once you do that, then the mind will wander less. Another thing, of course, prasada buddhi and ishwararpana buddhi to be strong in your life. So past regrets and future worries don't come in. Only little bit of the disturbance of the presence is there. That japa dhyanam will take care of. If it is not taken care of, supposing I find that I am living fairly alert but still not taken care of, then get into an activity which will require very much of alertness. Like yoga practice. You take a asana, you hold that asana for a couple of minutes and be awareful of every sensation that is there in your body. Which part is compressed, which part is stretched, which part is tense, which part is relaxed, so that you learn, you're training your mind to be alert and focused. Do that. Do some martial art combat. You'll become very alert fast, because if you are not alert, you will get punched. Yeah, so you become very alert. Nobody wants pain. That is a Gada Mazduri way of teaching, but it works. Yeah, it works. Yeah. If I am not alert, I will get hurt. So I will better be alert. And you will become alert. Do that. Whatever you need to make yourself more alert, more focused. Whatever you need. And bring that alertness and focus into your life, day-to-day life. If you are living a very conscious life, alert life, then the mind going apart, etc. is not there. Sometimes what we are doing something and then fantasizing about other things. Mind is in la la land, idhar udhar jata hai. Oh, be with the job on hand. Be with the job on hand. So when you do these things, the whole meditative part of it will work well. This also happens with people who are running around trying to do a lot of things, trying to multi-skill, because your mind is being trained to distract itself. Stop that. Learn to focus and do. If in multi-skilling you are not focusing on what you are doing right now, then you are compromising everything. Yeah. So these are small things. Somewhere you have to learn how to make that mind focus and get into the job. And keep learning. Keep learning. See the mithyatvam of all your distractions. See the mithyatvam of the whole world. Because that satya mithya becomes a very important thing. We get distracted because we are giving it a lot of reality. Revade. It's only that much. Yeah. It's only, it has got some functional validity. इतना ही है, इतना ही है. Like supposing I was going to get a doubt right now. अरे गैस ऑफ किए कि नहीं, चाय बनाया था ना क्लास का पहला. What do you think I'm going to do? As alert, I automatically shut off the gas. The moment I pick up the chai out, I shut off the gas. Off है. But you're not sure, let it wait. क्लास का बाद देखेगा ना. But gas consumption होता है. You'll have to pay for it. The price for not being alert. There's always a price. Don't worry, I'm just giving an example. I know I have offed it. Otherwise, all of you will get distracted with that. You put it aside, say, हाँ हो जाएगा, I'll do it. You have to take care of certain things. Yeah, I'll take care of it. This 20 minutes is mine time. After that, I'll take care of it. What's the problem? 20 minutes में कुछ होने वाला है. I mean, if there is something that urgent that in 20 minutes is going to make a difference, you better stop the meditation, do that and then come back. But generally, the world goes on whether I am there or not, okay? Many mothers discover it the hard way. They go out of town for a few days and come back. And they find the house is running very well. Everything going smooth. Children are taken care of things. Oh my God, I'm useless. Be happy. Be happy. One less thing to worry about. But I'm not needed anymore. Good, nah, then you can do other things where you are needed, where you need this. Are you getting the idea? This is the way you handle that mind. I mean, I can go on and on. It's endless. But do what it takes to handle your mind. Okay. Yasmin dhyau prithvi, yeah. So prithvi, etc., the heavens, earth, everything is that. Okay. Okay. Now he's just giving some more tips on this, okay? Ara iva rathanabho samhita yatra nadyaha sa esham antascharate bahuda jayamanaha om ityevam dhyayataha atmanam swastiva paraya tamasah parastat. Okay. Now this he is using a traditional knowledge that was there in the society. Okay. Ara iva rathanabho, like spokes on the wheel, the axle of the wheel. All the spokes are fixed on that. Similarly, samhata yatra nadyaha, all the nadis, okay, are fixed on the core of what you are. Now what are nadis? Okay. Nadis are supposed to be energy meridians. They can include your nervous system. They can include your lymphatic system. They can include your blood vessels. But basically, they are your energy channels, where the energy flows through. Blood vessels, nerves, etc., you can dissect the body and find out. Energy channels, you cannot. Energy channels is not available for your gross perception. They exist, but they are not available for your perception. Therefore, if you dissect the body, you will not see it. But if you go to a good acupuncture person, okay, good guy, he will put, says move your leg, you can move your leg. He will put 2-3 needles on this nadis and then say, now move your leg. You will not be able to move it. You will not be able to move. What does that mean? The energy that is required to move is not reaching there. Nerve signals may be going because that place is sensitive enough to touch and other things. But that motor nerves that has to be used, the energy that has to flow to be able to lift your leg, that's not happening. Those things have been blocked by the acupuncture. Is it scientific? Nope. Not in the way modern science has defined itself. Is it a discipline of knowledge? Yes. Acupuncture, in Ayurveda, for example, you know the dhara that you receive with oil on your body? They will put that oil all over your body. That is supposed to be along the energy meridians actually. You're stimulating the energy meridians through that oil depending on what is your problem. Tibetan medicine, it is there. Chinese medicine, it is there. Martial arts, definitely it is there. So all these nadya, where are they situated? To the core of who you are, what you are, to the prana. And the prana is based in the self. Esha antascharate bahuda jayamanaha. And as prana, manifesting as prana, the consciousness moves through all of them, all these nadis. This is the energy that keeps you alive. And the consciousness is manifest as the energy, the prana, and moving through all of them. All of them. Then what is at the core of the whole of all the nadis, etc.? Om ityevam dhyayataha atmanam. What is that? The consciousness. Therefore, Om iti dhyayataha. With Om, contemplate.
Which page number are we on?
Can you all hear me? See me?
128.
Mundakopanishad 2 to 6 we are in. Okay. Therefore, Om iti. Can you all hear me? Someone respond?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You can't see, but right?
Yes, we can't see you.
Okay. Let me just see if I can change the connection and it works out better.
Let me just see.
Yeah, because I can't see any of you all also. So obviously the connection somewhere is weak. I'm just waiting for the connection to come on. Okay, that's better, I think.
Sir, we can see you.
Yep. You can hear me also, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Therefore, he says, with the Om, Omkaraha, Atmanam Dhyayataha, contemplate on the self. This is the self that is manifest as the prana, it is the self that is manifest as the universe. Focus on that, contemplate on that. Contemplate on that, focus on that. Then he says what? Swastiva paraya tamasah parastat. Therefore, may you go beyond all darkness. May you go beyond all darkness. Meaning, may you know the truth. May you not be self-ignorant anymore. Tamasastu parastat. It's a very nice way of putting it, because look at it. Many people are turned there. Who is the one who is ignorant? I am ignorant of the self. When I say I am ignorant of the self, who is the one that is ignorant? The Atma?
The Jiva.
The Jiva, the functioning. The one who is mistaken, who is manifest in the mind, that is the entity that is this thing. No? Why? The Atma is beyond all ignorance anyway. Atma doesn't have the problems of ignorance. You, the Atma, is actually objectifying your ignorance. When you say, I am ignorant, what are you actually doing? You are objectifying your own ignorance, isn't it? So as the self, you are free from that ignorance. You don't have it. Just imagine what would happen if I said this in the beginning. The person comes and says, I want knowledge, I am ignorant about myself. And I say, where? You are not ignorant. Self is beyond all ignorance. How can you say you are ignorant? क्या हो जाएगा? People will be lost. But that's a fact actually. You are free from all ignorance. You don't have any ignorance in yourself. The mind is ignorant. Yeah. So may the mind recognize that what I have taken myself to be is false, is not correct. I am nothing but the pure consciousness. This knowledge has to happen in the mind, not anywhere else. And once that knowledge happens, you are fine. Tamasastu parastat. Tamasastu parastat. Yeah, beyond all darkness. That's what you really are. Okay. Then going ahead, he says, I hope this is clear of being beyond darkness, right? Beyond all ignorance. Okay. Yasarvajnaha sarvavadyesha mahima bhuvi divye brahma purehi yasha yeshaha vyomani atma pratishtita manomaya prana sharira neta pratishtito vanye hridayam sannidhaya tad vijnanena paripashyanti dhiraha anandarupam amritam yad bhavati. Okay. Yes, sarvajnaha sarvavit. Says the consciousness is both sarvajnaha and sarvavid. Now, if the term is used singly, sarvajnaha, sarvavid, it means one and the same thing. But when they are used together, sarvajnaha is a general understanding. Okay. Sarvavid is knowing details. All of us use a cell phone, right? We know the cell phone. You know the details of its functioning? Many of us don't. No? Many of us don't. If you are an engineer, probably you will understand a bit better. But otherwise, we don't know. The one who knows is considered sarvavit also, because all the details he knows. Therefore, the term Sarvajnaha, Sarvavid is generally reserved for Ishvara. So, when you know the truth, you become Sarvajnaha, not Sarvavit. Why? You don't know the details of the creation, you don't know the language of the ant. Forget it, you don't know Sanskrit properly. So you don't know all the details. But you know what is reality, myself is Brahman. Everything else is Mithya. Therefore, Mithya mein bahut details rahega, theek hai. What is necessary in my functioning, I will know that. Yeah, not more than that. But consciousness is also called Sarvajnaha, Sarvavid. Why? Ishvara is separate from consciousness. Yeah. He is not separate, therefore, Sarvajnaha, Sarvavid. Yasya Mahima Bhuvi. And what is your Mahima? The whole manifestation, the whole creation. 14 dimensions is the Mahima, is the glory of the Lord. It's a manifestation. बस ऐसा एक मजाक में कर दिया. 14 dimensions महिमा. ये एता अंतश्चरिते बहुधा दिव्यो हि ब्रह्मपुरे हि एष व्योमनि आत्मा प्रतिष्ठिता. Divya hi Brahmapure. Then there is one city called Brahmapuri. Brahmapuri is there. Okay. In that Brahmapuri, Esha Vyomni Atma Pratishtita. In that whole space, Atma Pratishtita. What is Brahmapuri here? Brahmapuri is not Brahmaloka. Atma cannot be located something. Brahmapuri is your own mind. Upalabdhi sthanam, where are you going to recognize the Atma? You see, in every corner of the country, the rule of the government functions, hopefully. Hopefully. There are enough people trying to hijack it also. But hopefully, in a good governance, it's supposed to function. But if you want to meet the government, where do you have to go? Capital city. Similarly, where is the Upalabdhi Sthanam? Brahman is here, either. 1 feet in front of me. Either. Hey, Brahman, hey. Do I recognize it here? Go to Brahmapuri, recognize it in my own mind as I. Recognize it as I. Aham Atma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma iti. What I have taken as I have to recognize it as Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Then the knowledge is complete. Therefore, Brahmapuri. Okay. Yesha Vyomni Atma Pratishtita. There the Atma is Pratishtitam. He is clarifying so that you don't misunderstand. What is that? Manomayaha Prana Sharira Netaha Pratishtita Anne Hridayam Sannidhaya. And Manomaya, your mind, etc. Pranaha, that makes you alive, Sharira Neta. Pratishtita. Annam, the whole creation. Hridayam Sannidhaya. It is all established on what? On the core, Hridayam, heart, meaning the core of who you are, the core of what you are. In fact, what he's saying is, whole thing is dependent on you, the consciousness. On you, the consciousness, everything is dependent. The fact that you are alive is because there is a consciousness that makes the mind alive, and that mind is connected with this body through the prana, and therefore the whole thing is alive. Back of it is the consciousness. Yeah. Sharira Neta. Okay. Tad vijnanena paripashyanti dhiraha. Dhiraha paripashyanti. Dhiraha meaning the thinking man. Dhiman. The one who's thinking is capable of thought, clear-cut thinking, viveki, in other words. Dhiraha. Vijnanena paripashyanti. Through this knowledge comes to see that, comes to recognize that. Vijnanena is not an object of perception. It's an object of your understanding. I have to understand I am that consciousness. Once you know that, he says, Ananda Rupam Amritaha Yad Vibhati. Yeah, and how do you recognize it? Ananda Rupam. When you recognize it, what do you discover? Aham Ananda Rupam. I am limitlessness itself. Ananda. Ananda means limitlessness, okay? That limitlessness, when it manifests in the mind, you will say joy, etc. Don't translate it as bliss. Thoda problem hai usme. Okay? So, Anandamayam as limitlessness. Okay? As limitlessness, Anandamayam. Amritam yad vibhati. And manifests as also what? Amritam. Amritam is what? Freedom from birth and death, freedom from time. Therefore, limitless. So that Amritam is throwing light on how you interpret the word Anandam. Anandam as Amritam as limitlessness. Therefore, this is how you recognize I am that consciousness in which the whole universe exists. That's me. You don't know the extent of the universe, correct? One galaxy, ours in the Milky Way, we can't know the whole extent of it. There are 400 million galaxies at the latest estimate. That is one dimension. 14 dimensions. Abhi baat karo. But every dimension is what? Nama Rupa, name and form. And what is the content of the name and form? Me, existence, awareness. That's it. That's all that is there. And once you know that, you don't take yourself as a limited entity anymore. If you don't take yourself as a limited entity, there is no hassles of life, there is no existential angst, there are no existential issues. There is no grief, sorrow, death, suffering, etc., all that gone. Chidananda Rupo, Shivoham, Shivoham. That's all that is there. उसका बाद क्या करेगा? Go. Have a cup of coffee. और क्या? Oh, sorry, dinner time, don't have coffee. Okay. That's all there is there to it. So, some of these aspects you can bring into Nididhyasana also. The world arise in me and subdue in me. With every chant, the world is coming up, every silence is dying down into me, the consciousness. Once you are comfortable with the silence, get into this. In me, the consciousness. With the chant, the whole creation is there. Chant dies down, creation dies down. What is there? Only one consciousness. So you can do it in 100 different ways. Okay, you can do it in 100 different ways. Do what works for you. Do what works. Yeah. What works, works, or kya? If something works for you, use it. You don't have to do every meditation that is there in the world. No, you don't have to do that. You do what works for you. Two things necessary. One, the fact that you are consciousness, and two, the consciousness is everything. So whatever helps you get there is fine. Whatever helps you get there. So good place to stop. Think it over. Come back next class with the questions, etc. I think except for those who are out of town, etc., I am seeing you all on Sunday. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. Om Tat Sat.